Welcome to the workbench. We got a neat little project going on today. We're going to put a hard body on a Remo chassis. And in order to do that, we're going to end up having to stretch the wheelbase out just a little bit. But first, we're going to start with the body. Welcome to the Ozark Hobby Adventurist. I'm Ken, and today on the workbench we've got a little body project going on. Now, this thing doesn't really come with an instruction sheet. A couple things are kind of vague on how to put it together, so we're going to show you a real quick build on this body. It's got a few little imperfections here and there, but nothing too major. There's some spots where the paint's a little thin, just because it's mass produced. These are spots you can touch up before you get started. You can see a little spot back here where it just didn't get enough paint on it. We're going to fill that in with Testors Model Master Black Chrome, and it'll almost make it look like it's not even there. Now you may want to do some things to your body to, kind of spruce them up a little bit. And for the guy that maybe doesn't have the ability, or so they think, to do some edge touch up, this works really good. It gets rid of that white edge that is along the body. And at this point, I really wasn't for sure if I was going to use the fenders or not. So as you can see, there's a definite difference in the way it looks. And you can also use that as sort of an edging for if you decide to paint the bottom side of your body. And here I am using some acrylic craft paint to paint the bottom side black, get rid of some of the white, make it look a little more realistic. And it doesn't really require all that much, but it does make a difference. And when it's all done, it'll be nice and flat and black, just like the underside of most vehicles. We're going to edge the windshield, and I'm also going to paint the inside of the windshield black. These pieces look kind of like that, right? And you have to tap them in up here, and I've already done that, and I thought I had the camera rolling. No, here's one. Okay, there it is. Whew. Got this little tube. You got that little titty thing there, and that just goes on there. That'll work just fine. Okay, so this piece is the top. This piece is the bottom. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take the top and lay it just like that. Now the way to identify the top piece is it's got, where are you at? There you are. That little pin right there. And then you have this little bar here. Okay. So now you've got this. Alright, now. You see you got your little mark right here. Little deal. Okay, now what happens is that fits in there like that. You got the little groove. Okay. And that is going to fit in here. But first we got to add one of these. We go over here. Put that together. Take that. And that slides in like that. Alrighty then. Now this goes together and lays in there just like that. So remember, this is the inside and this is the outside. Okay, so you take this, okay, so now we have screws. So this right here is the hardest part of putting the body together. You may need to clean some holes, do a little sanding in order to make some of the parts fit in the holes when you start putting the roll bar onto the body. But this is pretty simple. Basically, you have your steering wheel and you have this piece here. And the steering wheel slides in and sticks just like that. So then that fits in there just like that. And that slot right there. So it needs to go down. And then you just turn it and it just sits in there. And you do the other one the other way. The same way. And that just sits right down. And there. Just like that. Purdy. Purdy, purdy, purdy. I think we're gonna deal with some doors. We're gonna make some changes. So here we are going to whack the top of the doors off. Now if you do this, you need to do this at an angle, like up and outwards, so you don't cut it too short on the inside. There's a little lip right there that you can use to draw your straight line across. And I am using a 10/1000th of an inch razor saw. So that's pretty fine cut. Took a while, as you can see. And that's what it looks like when we're done. I wanted to give it a little bit more of an open look, but still have the doors on it. So now we are going to put the mirror on. And I'm not going to bother to paint the back side of the doors for now. I'll do that later. But it's really pretty simple. You stick your little piece through there and pull on it, and that snapped it in. Now it's not always going to sound like that. Sometimes you got to work it in there and it won't make a snap. And then we'll just go ahead and put the inner door panel on. And you see we got a nice clean cut. And just to prove that this isn't that complicated of an ordeal, we're going to take and put the other one in too. Now this one's going to give me a little bit more of a hassle. Why? I don't know. But I had to tug on it a little bit to get it to seat in its spot correctly. And now if you wanted to not put the door panel on, you could trim off the inner tabs and make it a smooth interior door. Well, we're gonna try for some scaling aspects here, I guess. And that's pretty much how all four doors are gonna end up going together. Here we have the windshield. The windshield is easy to put in. This is the easiest way to put in the windshield. Put it in from the top, get it situated, press a little bit, that snaps in, windshield is done. Okay, now we're gonna put the windshield wipers on, which is pretty much the same thing. Stick it through the hole, give it a little tug to seat it. Now that we've got all of our windshield stuff done, it's time to put on some doors. Okay, when you put these doors on, you have 4 pins. 2 large in diameter ones, which go in the front. As you see, that one went in pretty easy. Just gotta wiggle it all around until it all fits. Okie dokie, got the front door done. Now we're going to do the back door. It uses a smaller in diameter pin. And like the first one, you got to do some wiggling, get all your holes lined up. And there you have it. I've already put the seats in, and the front ones snap in, the rear ones screw in. Pretty self-explanatory there. Now that we're doing the dashboard, Now you can do the dashboard and the seats pretty much at any time. They don't interfere with anything, but it is a little easier to get things in there without the roll bar mounted. And here's your 3 screws that hold your dashboard together. Okay, here we go with putting the roll cage on. Now, the whole idea here is to try to get everything to somewhat fit, not 100%, but just close, so you can get it all snapped down. And the door handles snap in. These are pretty snug, so you're really gonna have to put the squeeze on them to get them to snap in. And you got one for each door and one for the tailgate. Here are the 4 holes that hold the screws that hold the windshield in place. Here you have 1 Allen screw, and here is the screw for the upright behind the back door. And then you just take whatever screws you have left over and put your fenders and stuff together, and you'll end up with screws left over of both the black and the hat style. Alright, and this is what the body looks like. I got a screw to tighten down on the windshield, but I come up with an idea for some windows. You can have an open window, take a piece of blister pack, and you can make a full window. You can make a partial window, whatever your little heart desires. So, you know, the choice is yours. Make it how you want it. Be creative. Me personally, I like the open air look. It looks different, but it's also easy to copy. Here's another couple ideas of things that you can do for your doors. You can cut the door down, and how I did that was I drilled a hole after figuring out where I wanted my lines to be. And this one's kind of unfinished, it's not quite straight. But anyway, I drilled a hole and then went from the edge of the hole up to my starting point, edge of my hole back to there. And when I got done, I put some carbon fiber body wrap on it and trimmed the hinges a little bit. And it is for scrappy, as you can tell from the color. This side looks a little bit rough, but I'm still working on figuring out the technique on working on parts that are so small, because this stuff's designed for full-size cars. Hey, thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to share, like, and smash that subscribe button. Maybe, just maybe, we'll meet you on a rock somewhere.